What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Will, and I'm here with Quan as always.
Let's go.
That's right. So, I want to talk about something before we get into the topic that we have on hand. I have a question because I'm noticing this a lot in the gym, and I want to hear your opinion on it.
Talk to me.
So, I'm seeing a lot of these young kids starting off. They're working in bodybuilding or they're working in the gym in general, and they're using wrist wraps, knee sleeves, and all that right away for really light weight.
Okay.
How do you feel about this?
Now, are you asking me personal feelings on it? All right, well, necessarily, I think that lifting gear or straps, weights, weightlifting belts, etc., wrist straps, all that stuff, are necessary for only when needed. Necessary. So if it's not something that isn't super heavy to lift up or isn't causing you strain or aches or pains to require you to use the belt or anything, then I don't see it fitting necessary. But if you're using it just for your own personal reasons, then I don't really mind necessarily. I think it makes you look a little bit cooler, gives you +1 attributes, so keep it up, man. Come to the gym. Yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
All right.
But I personally use it only when the weight's necessary for when I need those wrist straps or straps and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't do the same thing where I'll bring the gear with me and then I'll warm up. I'll use my own natural strength, my own natural brace as much as I can. But then once I know I'm at a position where I'm going to start feeling it, I'm going to start hurting myself, I could run the risk of injury. Yeah. Then I'll add it into it.
Understand, because most definitely it doesn't teach you how to naturally brace your core or actually strengthen your joints and stuff like that. So
get that proper grip strength, work that grip strength.
Yeah, and then going down to your knees and ankles and stuff like that. When you're wrapping your ankles, wrapping your knees, you're not as mobile as you actually can be when you do such a thing.
Right, absolutely. And yes, of course, there are situations where people have, joint issues or some kind of thing where they only can use wrist wraps or straps or something like that. That's obviously different, but I just noticed a lot of these young kids that are perfectly able-bodied and they already have the wrist wraps on and they already have their lifting gloves and they're doing 15 reps, 15 pounds with 15 reps. And I just find that it just bothered me in my head, so I just want to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah. I mean, even so, I see what you mean.
So with that being said, guys, I wanted to talk about bodybuilding. I want to talk about specifically our position in bodybuilding because you have 2 shows under your belt. I have 3 shows under my belt.
Yeah, first year of competing.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a good way to put it. First year competing. And we just kind of want to talk about what we learned, what we need to work on, positives and negatives of bodybuilding in general. We both do natural bodybuilding. We do natural competition, but I want to kind of go across the board.
Yeah, facts.
But we'll definitely start with what we know of our knowledge base, which is natural bodybuilding. So you want to start with your first show? All
right. So yeah, first show. I went into it with a little bit of a mindset thinking that I was just going to get first place. I literally told myself, I'm winning this shit. And I went into it with a bad mentality, I would say. I wasn't on a diet plan to start. I didn't try dieting before, so I just went into it. And then I even told one of my guys, one of my old coaches, that I don't see myself eating ground beef every single day, every single meal, ground chicken, you know what I mean? So that just explains it all in one. What would you say about yours first show and your diet and stuff?
So my first show, same exact thing. So I was definitely doing the heavy lifting that I needed to do because I had someone who had some experience in bodybuilding that gave me a lot of tips. Yeah. My biggest takeaway from my first show was the fact that I needed to listen and I had to listen. And I did take a lot from a lot of people. Okay. But I didn't get a coach. I just gleaned, and that was my own cockiness, and that was definitely, and that's still my own cockiness because I'm still not getting a coach. I tell myself I'm a personal trainer. I know how to diet myself. I know how to work myself out, but I wasn't cocky enough to not take other people's advice. Yeah. So we have at this gym we have a fantastic bodybuilding coach who just is so humble enough to just let me glean a ton of information off him. We have other competitors of bodybuilding competitions that were in the same division as us that just gave us a lot of pointers. Yeah. And I took all of that and I trained with different people, but when it came to my diet, I agree with you. I was not worried about my diet, and I should have been because I was a skinny kid. So I'm like, I can lose weight so easily. I've been spending years of my life trying not to lose weight, so it's gonna just fall off me. Yeah. But I forgot I was skinny fat. I wasn't necessarily lean. I didn't have the skinny abs and anything like that. So I didn't do cardio until maybe 8 weeks out, I want to say. And I wasn't even doing a lot of cardio at first. I was doing like 10 minutes on the stairs. And then I did the cardinal sin of, the last week, starved myself. I did hours of cardio. I did way too much. I couldn't train properly because I had no proper food in me. Even up to the peak week, I did wrong. I had no carbs in me the entire peak week. And it definitely showed on stage because my muscles didn't look very full. I still had a little bit of fat on me. And it was overall, and I didn't practice my posing enough. I definitely practiced my posing more the first time than the second time, but I wasn't practicing properly. I wasn't watching myself. I wasn't looking over it, and I didn't have someone to have pointers with.
Yeah, exactly, and that goes back to the proper preparation. So, again, like he was saying, myself, I didn't want to get a coach, and then until my second show, right after we hopped off stage, I realized that I think that we got to get over that cockiness in a sense, because we do need that critical thinking, that critical look, that critical eye, that they know what they're looking for. I think it'll only be beneficial for us. Yes, we are coaches, but think about it. Put it in this sense. I seen something that was like LeBron James has his own personal coach. The Williams sisters have their own personal coach, just so that they could be one step better because they know how to play.
Right.
They know everything. They know how to do it, but they still have that person to hold them accountable and stuff like that. So I would say for the next one, we should look into it. We should definitely look into it.
We actually do have, at the Rhode Island show, my girlfriend, when she was in the audience, she happened to be sitting next to the coach of the winner of that show and got his information. He had some good pointers about me. So we'll see if we can reach out to him.
Yeah, no, we definitely should.
But going off of what you said about, LeBron, Serena, even going into the NFL, like, specialization is so important. So, like, you and I, we both know that we can do general fitness. We have a bunch of different ways that we can train different clients. But we also know that you and I have different specializations. And just like, in the NFL, you have the offensive coach, but you also have the wide receivers coach.
Yeah.
And you also have, like the defense, you have the quarterback. Everyone has specific specialized coaches.
And let me tag on to that. Then think about the individual, though. They have their own specific coach
You're right.
as well.
You're right. So, this is a humbling moment for both of us. You're watching us now live. Admit to the fact that we're not him, either of us. And we're going to...
and it's just learning from experience stuff.
Absolutely.
So, like, the first show, I was telling myself I'm not going to diet. Like, I literally sat there and told my guy, Darnell, I'm not eating ground chicken, ground beef, anything. I cannot do that every single day for 12 weeks. Then look at it to the second show. It was a quick show. First year competing again, like I was saying before. It was only a 3-month turnaround from the first show to my second show. And with that time frame, I was able to put on at least 15 to 20 pounds, a little bit of excess fat. I love my cheat meals, my Chinese food, man. You guys are not going to get enough of that. But with that being said, I actually decided to actually like discipline myself and try it. You know what I mean? Just be open to trying to be on a stricter meal plan. And even so, looking back, I could still do things to be better. Like, I wasn't really measuring out my foods. I was kind of just dumping the whole thing in ground beef, I was measuring with my cups of rice, but that was really simple because it came in a cup, So I could really measure my foods. I could really scale everything out, even pinch out my salt, I'm just shaking, all that stuff. All that stuff does play a major role, and it wasn't until after I hopped off the stage that I realized that. So I was successfully able to go on a diet, for the next show, the second show, 12 weeks of a prep, and then the results shown in itself just by the non-drinking and then the diet plan itself. I had a bad time on my first show. I didn't cut out drinking either. I was still drinking alcohol, and I wanted to call myself a bodybuilder. It's pretty crazy. But the results show it was only a 3-month turnaround too. So the poses were all the same, front, side, back, and they all look completely different.
Night and day.
And like I was saying, as soon as I hopped off the stage, I told myself, what can I do that I see the first and second place winners doing that I'm not? And it was having a coach individually just for their workouts, having that person, opposing coach, just looking at them as they're going through their routine 24/7, giving them that critical eye, because I really do think that's necessary. And then think about their diet and nutrition now. They were a little bit more conditioned than I was as well. I could be leaner. I have the muscle tone for it, all that stuff, but I could be leaner, and that just falls on diet. So I bet you they were scaling their foods, writing down everything, tracking it. I bet you they were. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to separate you from being, champion or freaking third place, man. You know what I mean? So
no, absolutely, and that's something that I noticed when we had this office, the training office. Having Dave in the other room have his nutrition talks, I used to always just sit here, lower my music, and I would just be eavesdropping in on his conversations and just hearing how critically he was down to like the very drops of water, and it was
like a squirt of ketchup, bro.
Yeah,
what?
Literally, and it was
like, are you kidding me? There's calories in that, and I have to be worried about it.
Yeah, sugar, lots of sugar.
Like that's insane, dude. Mm-hmm. It's really insane.
But it's just a matter of, so, and that's the biggest thing. So learning what foods, not only what foods are, I don't even want to say good and bad, what foods are reactive well to your body and don't react well to your body. So one thing I learned about this prep versus last prep is I was a lot more consistent with my food, which was a blessing and a curse. So when I'm off prep, when I'm off season, and what I did last season is I eat a variety of food. So like my meals this week, I have an egg frittata.
He's eating like dogs.
Yeah, literally. Stupid. I had an egg frittata. I have chicken sausage and potatoes and veggies. I have red lentil pasta with turkey meatballs and a 4-cheese sauce. I have
Frank's hot dogs.
We go to Five Guys, no, for sure. I'm not even talking about cheat meals. I'm talking about my prep. My prep itself, my meal plan is very variety.
He likes Frank's, guys. It's all right, guys.
Frank's hot sauce, no, absolutely. I thought you said Frank's hot dogs.
I did say hot dogs.
Oh, you did say hot dogs.
Yeah, right. I thought you were playing it off right there.
No.
That was kind of smooth, dude. I'm gonna let you rock. That was smooth.
Thank you. But no, Frank's hot sauce, absolutely. And that was something that I dialed back on this prep, and also. When I hit the 12-week mark, when I started my 12 weeks, I went straight bison. I went egg whites and bison. Like, I single-handedly did more to the American buffalo than probably the colonizers, all right? It was rough. What I did to the... Because I was eating...
I didn't do that.
I was eating not only ground bison for 2 of my meals, my third meal was bison steak. So I was having just crazy amount of bison, but the reason is because I knew how it reacts to my body. I knew ground bison was low in fat and it was low in calories, so I was able to...
Very high satiating.
High satiating because it's high in protein. So it helped me get to my protein, my proper protein levels, but also gave me a little more wiggle room where I had more carbs to play with. So I got to keep my dextrose in on my my workouts, so my workouts were more effective. And I got to keep my fat's a little higher on the other end, so I got to like kind of get more creative on that end, so I could have like a cottage cheese or a string cheese to kind of also help with the protein, with the satiation. But the downside to that is that I wanted to throw myself off of building.
Big time.
8 out of 7 days. It was
miserable.
It was terrible. Miserable. We were going through it, and I know you felt the same way with the ground beef.
Oh, it was miserable, but I could smack up some ground beef. Like, if you guys need a cook, like, pay me. I got the apron and all that. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But no, seriously, it was pretty hard going through the ground beef. I started to become something like very, like, it made me angry. I mean, I mixed up the ground beef and ground turkey, which was really necessary, you know what I mean? But overall, it was strictly ground beef. And I was picking up 3-5 pounds at a piece and just making it all at once. I could chef up that ground beef like it's no tomorrow, trust me. And I was able to eat it, but over time, once it starts getting deeper and deeper into the prep, it started becoming very irritable, and I had to start like chugging it with water. So it's like a scoop, kick it back. Terrible, dude. It was terrible. And then the day of the prep, day of the show, I had my last ground beef meal. So it was really good. I promise you, those last few meals kicked in, and it was the best meals of my life. But like, like once it was over, I literally was so happy it was over. Like I didn't want to do it again. I literally told myself, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a little crazy. I can't see myself really going into putting my body, putting my mind, putting my mental, everything through that again.
I'm gonna stop you right there, because you say this every time, and every time. So literally within the car ride home, we had an 7-hour car ride.
Yeah.
Within that time, you quit and came back to bodybuilding 3 times, and you changed divisions twice. So literally, you were like, all right, bro, literally, we're getting ready to go to our cheat meal. You're like, I'm going to get classic physique next time. I'm going to rip it. It's going to be easy. We're driving home. Yeah, bro, I don't know if I'm ever going to do that again. And then it was, I might do both. So
I still might do both. I was being a little thought. Being a little thought for bodybuilding, guys. I don't know. I can't choose right now. But even so, like, I wanted to talk about how I looked at it as a negative thing. I thought it was like a really unhealthy position to put your body to. Mm-hmm. It still is to an extent of your body fat percentage. So you are putting your body fat percentage at a really, really low state, and your body's like in shock 24/7. It's literally saying, what the hell are you doing to me?
Fight or flight.
Literally, fight or flight. So do I personally want to be in that position again? Not really. You know what I mean? But then you got to think about it. It's only a 12-week stint, or 15, 16, 20 weeks total. You know what I mean? Because the prep is a little bit longer. You are in an off season, so you kind of are on prep. You got to get mentally ready for it and stuff like that. So I just looked at it in a negative light. Now I kind of turned it around and look at it as I was just saying. It's only a little prep. It's a time period, a short period of time, and then it separates you from everyone else. Other than the people that you're competing against, you know what I mean? But separates you from the other people, and then it makes you the model of consistency, dedication, and hard work. So looking at it like that, man, it makes me want to do it again and actually dial in like a lot more. It gets me fired up thinking about it. Like,
absolutely.
We just had the Mr. Olympia over the weekend. Like, dude, those guys are dialed in. Their diet, their nutrition is insane.
It's another world.
Like Forget the gear.
Outside, no.
Diet, nutrition, like
that's my biggest thing when it comes to
anything. Like they are locked the fuck in, and I'm trying to be like that, and it's just for a period of time, dude. Mm-hmm. Oh, your first meal is a burger and dogs.
Yeah,
this guy with the dogs, man, with the Franks, man. But literally, like you're going out and you're eating like a normal. We are normal people, so we're eating like normal people. Just with the eye for the nutrition, not eating, the fast food too much. Like, come on, you gotta leave McDonald's at home. Talking to myself, guys. Talking to me. You gotta talk to me. It's been like too long. But even so, just looking at it in a positive light. And I don't know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, so absolutely. There's like 4 different things came to my head at once. So, main thing is going on to the positive and negative, like we were saying before. How I feel about it is you are no longer doing it about health.
Yeah.
Fitness is like when your goal is bodybuilding, it's no longer about health because you're putting yourself in an unhealthy state.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. However, if you have a good why to do it, if you have a good reason to do it, like I was talking to my friend who's been in the fitness industry, he started working out with me, and he said, I can't, I'm not motivated the same. I can't get the goal. I'm not hitting my goals anymore. I need a new goal because realistically, fitness is a forever goal. Fitness as a whole, there's never an end. It's always going to be, I want to get a little stronger. I want to get a little more comfortable. I want to get a little faster. I want to get a little leaner.
Yeah. Always improvements.
Always improvements. So to have an end date, and that's why I started. I have no intention, never had an intention to be shirtless on stage. That was never something that I wanted to do, never something that I would have even dreamed of. And for me, it was a goal. It was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I want to be in the fitness industry more. I think this is something that will help me stand out. And it's something that will help me lock in and refine my passion for fitness. And boy, did it. It unlocked so many. Every competition I went to,
potential, man.
It opens potential. It opens new levels. It opens my eyes more to what I can do and what there is out there. The amount I learned, it's the reason why I got my fitness nutrition specialist certification. Is why I am falling in love with, honestly, online content, because that was another thing that held me accountable. I have been trying to do a YouTube channel for 5 years, and I just never had because I never had a theme. I never had something that was going to keep me going, because fitness is such an open-ended world.
Yeah, no,
you can do so much.
You can do so much.
So locking it down too, Road to Syracuse, like we did, was such a great way for me to start my YouTube channel and start pushing things out and feeling confident in it. And also the pro card, having a natural pro card is just a way to stand out in the fitness industry as well, because you know there's a lot of people that look great, but that's all they have for them. They don't even have certifications for personal training.
They're not even certified.
They're not even certified.
Everything's on TikTok, guys, and if you guys are following those TikToks, just ask them what certification they have or what degree they have in exercise science, please, before you buy their programs. It's insane. It's insane.
Absolutely, it's a lot of those. And we'll go deep into debunking. I want to find Instagram influencers and TikTok influencers.
I want to react.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So if you guys have any Instagram influencers or TikTok influencers that you want, because you guys send the TikTok ones to me. Quan doesn't have TikTok.
I get people coming saying can we do this? Yeah. Why do you want to do this?
I just had the conversation before where something as simple as the squat machine. She asked the squat machine that you have the seat on. She's like, "Oh, can you do that one backwards to hit the glutes more?" I said, "You could, but there's no reason. It's something that you do it's something that you see Instagram influencers do to make it look more impressive. When in reality, all you have to do is bring your legs up a little higher, and your glutes and hamstrings are engaged."
I love that you said that. Correct use of the words. To make it look more impressive. It's not making it more beneficial as a workout. Making it look more impressive. That's all. And then necessarily what you guys see isn't what they're actually doing to get the physiques that you are trying or aspiring to acquire. Absolutely. Literally, it's simple, it's boring, and it gets repetitive, and they've been doing the same thing for about 15 to 20 years to work on their bodies, and now they're having fun doing those box jumps shirtless and looking good, making you guys want to look like them. You don't need to follow TikToks. If you need tips or advice, go to your local gym, ask a personal trainer, they'll give you free advice. Simple as that.
And if you find those things on TikTok, ask your personal trainer. So I have a bunch of my clients, and we talked about this last time. My clients will be, "Hey, I saw this on TikTok. My one guy, he's smart enough to know, I think this is kind of nonsense. Can you explain to me why it's nonsense?" And we go into it. And I'm glad that he brings that stuff up because, one, he's not trying it on his own and getting hurt. Because I have a lot of people doing that, where I had a girl who wanted to learn deadlifts, and I was giving her the real fundamentals of it, and we were breaking it down, and I was going so minutely to make sure she doesn't hurt herself. Yeah. And then on her own, she did deadlifts and hurt her back. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I fell victim to it too. I would post some stupid stuff like I was doing an ab roller on the treadmill. Like what is that? If I was to fall and get hurt, bust my chin, lose all my teeth, what am I really doing? I'm simply just trying to impress, and it's just as simple as that, man. It's no good. There's no science behind it. There's no benefits to it, and ultimately we're trying to avoid injury. That's why we got into this, and that's something that I learned from taking bodybuilding a little bit more serious too, corrective exercise. So
100%.
That's why we're in this field, is for corrective exercise. And then being serious on that, I've seen so much improvements in my own physique necessarily, just by locking in on posture and form, making sure that you're performing each exercise as perfectly, taking it more as a skill than just, thrust and boom, just go. Right. Practicing the skill as we go through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We went to a rabbit hole. I'm trying to think of where we started from here. Oh, standing out from other, standing out. So that's why I wanted to get the pro card, because I don't even if I don't have the same physique as these TikTok kids, or have the crazy fancy stuff like that. If people see in your bio, certified personal trainer / pro bodybuilder or pro men's physique, that just stands out a little bit more, and that just gives me more necessarily clout in the industry without being something I'm not, without being fake. And that's genuinely, I'm genuinely a natural bodybuilder, and I'm genuinely going to get my pro card. And so that shows that I have the knowledge, I have the wherewithal, and I can train you in that way if that's what you want to do. I also want to bring out more natural bodybuilding, because there's not a lot of, I'm so glad the OCB is in most of the continent of the United States, but everyone around here, no one knows that there's such thing as natural bodybuilding. It's kind of, when you think of bodybuilding, you automatically think of enhancements. You automatically think of gear. And there's these young kids that want to be bodybuilders. They want to go through it, but they don't want to waste their time and guarantee a loss, because they're going to go up against other kids that are using enhancements.
Yeah, and ultimately it's starting young, you're gonna end young too. So
Absolutely.
think about it in that aspect. So I would say health is the most important. So that's why we're in this space. So start if I had any recommendations, start when your health starts deteriorating. You know what I mean? And that's with testosterone replacement, TRT.
Mm-hmm.
If there was anything that I could recommend. But then again, that's by your doctor.
Yeah, exactly. You don't go by
doctor.
us.
Yeah, I'm no doctor.
I
am a doctor though. I fix so many people up. It's crazy.
That is true. Like, and that's the thing. I just had this conversation with who was it? I was talking to one of my clients, and how like the difference between us and physical therapists, and how
very little,
except for price, and
they're robbing you guys.
I don't want to say that because they do have some, like, I've done physical therapy before, and so I wouldn't say they're robbing you, because I had PT actually for a little bit with my shoulder and my lower back, and I only did it a couple sessions, but there were some things that he taught me that were very helpful. He also he's an Olympic and sports specific chiropractor and physical therapist.
Yeah.
And he really helped me just to kind of understand the biomechanics of my shoulder and of my lower back, posture correction and little fixes and like corrective exercises like we're also learning. He just has a more in-depth and has more knowledge because of the time he spends educating himself and also time in. But also he did have that chiropractic feature which snapped the hell out of my back, bro. Felt so good.
No, yeah, I can imagine. I've still never been to a chiropractor, and I would definitely recommend going to all my guys that are, fragile and feeling the aches and pains. But I would definitely take advantage of it if I could myself.
Now, chiropractic and all that stuff is not long term. So I think it's a great way to kind of loosen you up, break you down, but follow that with corrective exercise, with proper training, with proper nutrition to help keep your muscles and your bones stronger. And we...
No, my bad.
No, you go. I was trying to remember where we were leaving off.
Yeah. You were talking about positives of the bodybuilding. So those two you listed out too before.
So we're talking about positive bodybuilding. It was talking about...
Yeah, we went on a long tangent.
We had a long tangent about physical therapy. Corrective exercise.
But that's what bodybuilding helped me realize. You know what I mean? So
yes, absolutely.
It's a good thing necessarily, but for you.
Oh, no, we were talking about the comparison of physical therapy and personal training and how you set, and one is the price. You are right. They're not robbing you per se, but the price of personal training is stupid. Personal training versus physical therapy is dramatic. Even with insurance or without insurance, usually the copay is pretty high. That's what we're talking about, because I was talking about how, especially with like elderly people or people that are hurt, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of rehab. I had a lot of people come in and they said, I have this many sessions of physical therapy my insurance will pay for. After that, I want to come to you and I want to help with the corrective exercise. And that's also the difference between a physical therapist and a personal trainer, is a physical therapist is only going to work on a specific problem that you came to them with. Yeah. Whereas a personal trainer, we come and hit everything. So if you come to me and you have a bad shoulder, all right, I'm going to fix your shoulder. I'm going to work on your shoulder. And I'm going to build it up. I'm going to build the muscle around it. But I'm also going to build the rest of the muscle in your body. Yeah. Because this stemmed from something else. This stemmed from your chest isn't strong enough when you went to go do something with your like some kind of push. And you overcompensate with your shoulder. Or if your lower back is hurt, your legs are weaker, you don't have flexibility. So there's more to the story than just the pain. And when it comes to injury, it's cyclical. So if you have an injury, you're going to overcompensate somewhere else. When you overcompensate somewhere else, you're going to get another injury, and now you're going to just go back and forth, and it's never going to heal. So that's the biggest thing I noticed with personal training. And I'll say this is a positive of bodybuilding because it made me go to physical therapy, because I've been having for a long time, from improper deadlifts, from improper bench. I hurt my shoulder and I hurt my lower back, so I had to go to physical therapy to make sure I was the healthiest, because I knew I was going to be a lot leaner and I was going to be more susceptible to injury. And that's another negative of bodybuilding. You're bringing yourself to a point of such leanness, of such low body fat. You're depriving yourself of a lot of energy from your carbohydrates. Your strength diminishes. So if you're going to try and put up the same weight because you want to keep your muscle up, you want to keep your muscle stronger, it's going to affect you and it's going to hurt yourself. And I almost hurt myself in my first show because I was still doing legs. I was doing squats. I was tired. I pushed myself too hard and I hurt my knee, and that was maybe 2 weeks out before my show. So I felt it right away, stopped it, rolled it out. I took care of it. Didn't do legs for the rest of that day, and I did very low impact cardio just to kind of keep the heart rate up, but not necessarily put too much impact on my knee. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you run the risk of injury. You're more susceptible to injury. That's a negative from bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. You're also more susceptible to eating disorders. And that's something. There's some people I know that want to go into bodybuilding. Like some girls that I know will struggle, like already struggle with eating disorders. For them, I say we need to get you a better relationship with food before you even think about stepping on the stage, because stepping on stage is going to destroy you as a person. Mm-hmm. I certainly already struggled with an eating disorder because I was so scared to get skinny again. And it really messed with me to have to drop weight for these 2 shows.
Yeah, and I bounced from that too, from being a fat kid all my life. Chubby. I look at myself every day, still to this day, man. It's something that I'm just dealing with, and that's the mentality that you got to have so that you could look to do better during the show. I would say is knowing that it's just temporary period of time. You are getting your results, and you're at your peak of fitness. But yeah, I struggled with it the whole time. I thought I was fat. Still to this day, thought I was fat. Still got the abs, but it's just a little excess fat that I have on myself. It's everything that you see, you're gonna see it. You look at yourself 24/7, you're gonna see it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you're gonna critique yourself. We're our hardest critics. But then that's why I also going back to the coach. Coach will just calm me down. He'll tell you everything's okay, make you feel comfortable in a sense. So that's why I want to look into that too.
Definitely.
I think that'll help actually.
No, 100%. A coach will definitely talk you off the ledge because we've done that to people. Yeah. Like it's so frustrating to know that we can do this ourselves, but we can't do it ourselves. Yeah. I've talked people off the ledge all the time. The stupidest stuff. We've done it to each other. Mm-hmm. We coached each other for the last show because when you freaked out about one thing, it was like because you had a weekend. You had a fun weekend, mm-hmm. and then you came back, and I did the same thing. I had a fun weekend. We had to keep reminding ourselves, bro, it's just water. You just hold on to a little bit of water. You hold on to whatever food you didn't digest from that weekend. Yeah,
then body went right into shock. 3 pounds, 4 pounds in that week.
Exactly.
Stripped off right after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh shit. Now we're at peak week.
Yeah, literally. It was, and that's what, and like, mental frustrations, we both were able to calm each other down, because I know I was getting a lot of frustration. I was getting a lot of defeatism, and you definitely talked me off the ledge on that.
Yeah, but now touching back on what you were saying, developing healthy food habits, that's something that is, like, I'm trying to do myself. Like I was telling you guys before, on my first show in the prep, I literally told my old guy, I'm like, I don't see myself dieting for a period of time. Now, that was a bad way to look at it, but think about it. It is just extremely temporary. It's only a 12 to 20 week period of time, and in a sense, it'll get you to those goals. So if you think that it's unhealthy to eat healthier foods, it's not true. It's just unhealthy to put yourself in that body composition. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to do better definitely for the next one.
Absolutely. And 100%. Something that is also a big difference is what you do in the off season. Yeah. So last off season, when I went from my November show to my November show, I took a year off because everyone told me you got to put on more mass and you need to lower your weight. Mm-hmm. Or you need to lean out but put on more mass. So I took that and ran with it as, all right, this is my excuse to get as big as possible. And I bulked, but I had such a dirty bulk. It was literally, I would have my whole, I measured out everything. I measured out all my meals, and I had myself in a caloric surplus. And then I would end my day with McDonald's, with Taco Bell, with a whole Papa John's pizza. It was, I still do that, but it's different. So that, like, I got to the point where I went from 154 on stage to I peaked out at 180 in under a year. So that was definitely a dramatic jump up, because when I started my last prep, I was 170 down to 154. So to go from that 170 was my highest to 180 being my new highest, mostly body fat. I was on the cusp of, my body fat percentage was, I think, almost considered either overweight or obese. And that also gave me now an eating disorder because now I struggle on both ends of it because you can never win. Mm-hmm. So now I'm being worried about being too skinny, but also being worried about too big. So with this new prep, if I still can't see my midsection, if I still don't have any kind of like, if I can't see it when the light hits that I still have abs, I freak out. Mm-hmm. And I have to tell myself not to do that 30 minutes of cardio, that hour of cardio again, because I know it's counterintuitive to what my goals are right now of building muscle.
100%.
But that being said,
that balance.
Exactly. 100%. The healthy balance of a slight caloric surplus to get myself to gain more muscle, focus on the protein, have the carbs as need be for energy, and just not be stupid.
You know, working with your body, that's definitely something that bodybuilding has taught me in a sense, because you are putting your body in that state. So, in a sense, you're working against it. But if you really look at it, you're eating very clean. You're eating no junk. Like it's better in a sense to do it like that. Hold yourself more accountable to an extent. But always, having those healthy portions, not doing a deficit that's too low. But that's something that I've definitely picked up and that I like about it. For sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But also the discipline. The discipline is another big positive of bodybuilding because you lock in. I was just telling you on the car ride home yesterday, the discipline you had to, like how you change as a person, how you change in your level of, you've always been disciplined, but the level of change that you had from starting these competitions has been insane. You've been so dialed in with your food, so dialed in with your nutrition, so dialed in with your posing. Your posing has been nonstop, and that's such a important part of it. That's what's going to help with the mind-muscle connection. It's going to help with just keeping the muscle bellies full, just keeping the cuts, having the isometric hold of every single pose.
Yeah. So that's something that I've been trying to emphasize. And like you said, it's the off-season. So as well as taking the diet on the off-season as serious as possible, I think that we should be, trying to feel ourselves out, play with our body, see how we look now, just so that we're not. Personally, me, I have stage fright. I'm a little girl on stage, man. It's terrible. Sweating profusely like a pig is so bad. So I'm going to just I'm just trying to really emphasize that proper preparation. So I think it's the 5 Ps. I heard this. I forgot who told me this, but probably some old guy. I love my old guys. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So now think about it. What's the stage fright? I don't know. Now, I do know that I was super insecure about my body image when I was younger. I was super fat, man. I wouldn't want to take my shirt off at the beach, at the pool. I would jump in the pool with my shirt on. Now, I know a lot of people could connect with that, but what are you scared of? What are you scared of, man? You're living, all right? At that point, you're literally living. So just do it, feel comfortable in your skin, and then go put in some work later on, whether it's now, tomorrow, or next year. All right, but even so, being on stage, and I thought I was prepared, and then I looked at those guys that did place higher than me before we got on stage. I still thought I was going to take first place, extra confident, simple as that. But looking at them on stage, they just looked more prepared than I did, in a sense. So I know that that's what I need to do, be properly prepared. I prep now, off-season, calling it an off-season prep. However many months we got 6, 7? It's in August. 10. Holy smokes. Yeah, 10 months. And I'm doing my posing routine now. I'm trying to get a routine now just so that when I'm up on stage, I can not be scared of what they're thinking, how I'm looking, how I'm hitting my poses. I want to be comfortable. I want to be fluent. And I just want to feel as if I'm free on stage. You know what I mean? Compared to feeling as if, everyone's looking at me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then, speaking of it, on stage, my best shot was the back pose.
Right, because you couldn't see everyone.
Exactly. Think about it. It's just that simple.
No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
It's, you definitely build that confidence up when you are properly prepared. So I think that's one thing that bodybuilding has taught me. And I think that's the best thing bodybuilding has taught me, actually, because you can implement that to everything. Literally everything in life. And that's what I like about the gym and what I really do find superior about bodybuilding, the discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And preparation is so important. It's also important to prepare before you go on stage and before you even decide to bodybuild. So I recommend anyone who is thinking about doing bodybuilding, reach out to someone who's already done it, reach out to coaches, reach out to trainers, get an idea of what you're getting into. Watch a lot of videos, because I ran into my first show completely blind, and I'm kind of glad I did, because I had to learn so much. I had to absorb everything in that moment, and I was able to relay that to Quan's first show, and even then, it still was only a small percentage of what even he came back with. And then we took both of our knowledge from our first show and all the knowledge we learned along the way and took it into our second show and my third show. And now we're going to go into the new year. I'm trying to do 3 shows this year. I don't know about you.
No, I'm thinking August is my only one.
Only one? You say that now, and then you're going to do 3 shows with me.
I'm not losing. If I lose, guys, mark my words, I'm not doing another one.
All right. You say that now. You say it now, but we'll also see.
In my head, this is the only show that I see right now.
In September, we're going to be talking about you getting ready for your next show. But
I promise it's the only show I see right now. I swear, if I lose, guys... And it's not about winning and losing. Ultimately, we're all winners when we hop on stage. But yes, we are trying to take first place and stuff like that. So let that be known, trying to be a pro. But everyone individually is taking W's, you know what I mean? That we all have our own individual reasons why we're stepped on stage or why we wanted to even get into bodybuilding. And I'm sure if everyone was to look at where they are now to where they started or 100%. Even thought about fitness, dramatic changes. And it all simply comes down to the discipline that they put forth and the consistency that they have. So it is hard, but it is very fun, definitely. And you learn a lot about yourself. I would say that I definitely got a lot to learn still, and I'm looking forward to the journey and the road that I'm on, because it's everlasting. Like you were saying before, fitness is never going to end. But if you're in it for the right reasons, for your health, nutrition, all that stuff, you can do this for a long period of time and continue to be in the space forever, Be one with yourself.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. But that being said, our camera's dying, so we're going to wrap up right now. Thank you so much for watching Coaches Conversations, Coaches Convos.
Yeah, Coach. This is episode 2, guys.
Episode 2. We're
Coaches Convos, Conversations, something like that. Sounds a bit nice off the tongue. You know what I mean?
There you go. So if you have any questions you want us to answer, we'll do Q&As. If you have any Instagrammers or influencers from TikTok or Instagram that you want us to react to, we would love to do that. If you have
I would love to.
Fitness videos that you guys like, fitness fails or anything like that, you want us to react to, we'd be able to do that as well.
I'll even react to my own.
Yeah,
old footage. Like, what are you doing?
Well, definitely, yeah. No, we both have plenty of videos when we first started, so we can definitely drudge those up and just cringe at ourselves. If you have anything else you want us to talk about, let us know, and we will catch you next week.
Yep. Peace.